really have a contract of employment, do they? I mean, most people,
No.
you know, you take a job and you say, well, this is the wages, well, what do you want me to do? Right, you do 40 hours a week and your duties will be X, Y and Z.
But
whereas we don't really know what the duties are.
Well, their
no
job
I think that's
times
the
for them
problem.
to be there.
Well, their job is to sit in Parliament and refine and debate laws, to stop laws, to make laws, you know, work for everyone.
Yeah, but we don't know if they're
democracy in
voting.
action.
They can choose to vote or not.
Yeah.
Malcolm Rifkin doesn't have a very good voting record.
Excuse me if I'm being ignorant, but do we know this information of any other, you know, any other lines of work? Do we know this information? Do we know how many hours people work and what they're doing for their jobs?
Everybody has a
their
contract of
jobs?
employment.
I think if you ask most of the people here who've got a job, they would say absolutely. If they're not there at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday, their boss is going to say, where were you at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday?
So how do we get this information from
But
MPs?
most MPs would tell you that they do loads of work for their constituencies. My problem is, yes, it's not. They probably do, but it's not really monitored. And how are they spending their time when they're not sitting in the House of Commons? And if it means they can earn, like Gordon Brown, up to £1 million in 1 year in other fees, how can he possibly be a decent MP?
I will have to say, well, on Gordon Brown, two things. One, he does not take that money for himself.
No,
that goes
but it's
into his
still
public
work
duties.
that he's doing.
But he's still got the time to do it, to be able to, you know, create that amount of money. I think trust is huge, isn't it? We're not far away from an election. There's huge worries about people being disengaged from the process. They need to restore trust, and so they need to put in the effort to say, look, we are value for money, and that has got to fall on them.
If all of us have discussed this morning, how many leaflets have we had with an election coming up? I've had one from the Greens. And most of us have had none. How much do they want our vote? They're not ringing my doorbell, are they?
Yeah, I know. That's ironic. You've had an email, you've had a letter from the Greens. They should be sending an email because it's not very environmental.